Three East Austin icons have passed away in just the last few weeks. Lois Villaseñor, Johnny Limón, and Rosalio "Rabbit" Duran. Here to talk with us this morning about these great people and what they did for East Austin and where East Austin goes from here, we've got Johnny Limón's nephew, Lonnie. So thanks for joining us, Lonnie. And you know all these folks. Just talk about them a little bit. Let's start with Miss Villaseñor.
Sure. Thank you very much for having me this morning. Mrs. Villaseñor was a special individual because she and her husband, Charles Sr., moved here from Houston in the 50s. And, you know, I talked to her son yesterday, Charles Jr., and I asked him, tell me a little bit about your mom and dad and why they started Mission on Cesar Chavez, at that time, First Street. And he basically told me that Mrs. Villaseñor saw an unmet need, just like any business person. But this unmet need was about an unmet need to give people dignified burials, because Hispanics weren't allowed in other funeral homes to be buried. And these are funeral homes that were here in Austin. So they said, we want to give them a dignified burial and a parlor where they can come in and their families can grieve together. Otherwise, they would be buried at home. So I think it was a bigger purpose than just profits.
Let's talk about Rabbit.
Sure. Mr. Rabbit, I knew personally. I knew all of them personally. Mr. Rabbit is an interesting person because he comes from a family of entrepreneurs. His family owned a place called Duran's Garage over on Weberville Road in East Austin. And my grandfather's dry cleaners was right behind that garage. And Mr. Rabbit, he created a place that was a community gathering place. It wasn't just a watering hole. It was a place where people came together to talk about ideas, to talk about how to improve the lives of people in East Austin. And people came from all over. Rabbit attended Austin High, as you can see here. And a lot of the connection that Rabbit brought was, you know, to City Hall, to people that were making the decisions. But most importantly, he brought together a big portion of people who wanted to do great things, who were from East Austin. And I think it became the gathering point to really kind of say, here's what we're going to do and here's how we're going to do it. And Rabbit became, I would say, the center connection for a lot of those individuals.
Right. And Johnny Limón, that's your uncle.
Yes, sir. That's my dad's brother, Johnny. My Uncle Johnny's a special figure. His real name is San Juan, which means St. John. And I think my grandmother knew something that the rest of us did not, that he was a person who was selfless. He was giving of his time, not only with his mother and with our family, but with East Austin and the entire Austin community. You can see here that he used to have Santa's Casa every year. He used to decorate the entire street so that people could come through and experience the joy of Christmas. So if you were lonely or if you had just moved here, it didn't matter. You could drive through the street and he was going to make sure you felt like you were part of the family and that you were home. And beyond that, he volunteered for so many different organizations, be it Meals on Wheels, the Guadalupe Neighborhood Corporation. He volunteered for Housing Works. He was a big brother, big sister, big brother of the year. I mean, I could go on, and it's been hard to write his obituary because when you write it, you're writing 4 to 5 pages, not 1 page, because he truly was a saint on earth.
Right. Let's talk about East Austin a little bit. You were telling me that you spoke with Rabbit. You actually interviewed him several years ago. We've got a soundbite that you gave me. Let's check that out real quick.
Sure.
What do you see for the future of East Austin?
It's just growing so much that everything is just. It was never, like I said, foreseen to be like it is right now, or the way it's changing, the way the people are. Not the way the people are, the people that are moving into East Austin from all over the world.
I know it's a loaded question and we've only got a little bit of time here, but kind of talk about what he said and where you see East Austin going from here.
I'll tell you, I did that interview 10 years ago before Rabbit retired, and I'll tell you that what has changed is the people who inhabit the buildings in East Austin, but the spirit of East Austin lives throughout all of Austin, and it's a spirit of community. When you think about the fact that I can meet somebody at a restaurant in Pflugerville or in Kyle or Buda, and the moment we talk about being from East Austin, there's an immediate tribal bond that we have. And that doesn't go away. And I will say that, and it doesn't matter if they're Hispanic or African-American, if we're from East Austin, we're from East Side. And so I think when you look at that, that is going to continue. I hope that the city and county will find ways to help people stay in their homes because most people that don't sell their home willingly really want to maintain that fabric and that community in East Austin, but they will need help because people bought those homes on fixed incomes, and just like the home you're showing, they want to stay there and they want to continue to be a part of this great community. But either way, that community will continue to spread and be strong by the people, no matter where they live throughout Central Texas.
Those 3 East Austin heroes will be remembered and their impact felt. Thank you so much, Lonnie Limón. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Have a good morning.
You too.